Hello, my love, and welcome back to the Energy Expansion Podcast. As always, I love getting to be here with you. Today's episode is going to be a mix of real life storytelling. Oh my goodness, what a weekend I had. There's going to be some reflection and really a powerful reminder of why I do what I do. And I don't think I've ever shared it in the way that I'm going to share it with you today. And I've got a feeling there's going to be some powerful aha moments and breakthroughs for you as well. So, one of my coaches and mentors once said something that really stood out to me. When you do the kind of work that I do, and a lot of my clients and business besties do as coaches, teachers, healers, I want to go as far as saying thought leaders. I think the idea of being a thought leader feels really inspiring, literally inviting people into a new way of thinking. When we think differently, we can live differently. But she said something that stood out to me, and she said, your job is to think differently. Like kind of exactly what I just said. But it was inspired by this, and that, no pun intended, but that really got me thinking. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's right. I have spent over a decade, and honestly, if I'm being really, really honest, a majority of my life being very aware of my thoughts and being able to choose thoughts that are actually supportive of what I want to create. And comes up with clients where I believe that every single one of us has unique, innate gifts and purposes. I'm going to use purposes plural because I don't think that any of us are here just to do one thing. I think our purpose may grow and evolve over time. And so I believe that you, my love, listening, and think about your innate gifts, skills, and talents, the things that come easily to you, but maybe don't come easily to other people. And that's something to be mindful of because it's really easy to overlook our gifts because they come naturally to us. And so we think like, oh, this is just what it is to be human. This is how everybody does it, or this is how everybody thinks about it, when that couldn't be further from the truth. And so I really, truly believe that I have been blessed with a lens of, to say a lens of optimism feels like an understatement, but I think out of necessity, yes. When you go through certain life experiences, when you are navigating adversity, challenges, pain, heartbreak, traumas, not everybody who experiences all or one or a few of those things comes out on the other side better, stronger, standing on 2 feet, like wanting and willing to change the world with what they've been through. And this is not saying that one path is better than the other. There's no hierarchy here. It's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. And I think we have a say and a choice in how the cookie crumbles. And so out of necessity, out of survival, and I think in a really supportive way, and maybe not so supportive in some select situations, but I have the gift of the silver lining, of seeing gold in the mess and being able to articulate that. And I think that a big part of coaching and mentorship is helping people like see the gold, mine the gold in every situation. And that really truly is a gift. And so this past weekend was, wow. I don't even have a word for it. I don't think I fully processed it. At the time of me recording this podcast, it's Monday, and Saturday and Sunday feel like a lifetime. Like so many things happened that it feels like it was a decade of time in 48 hours. And I want to share this with you. So setting the scene, heading into Mother's Day weekend, which feels like a big deal. I'm super close with my mom. She's my best friend. I'm obsessed with my mother-in-law. My grandma is like the queen of my life. I call her my granny goose. So there's a lot of really strong female figures in my life. And also, hi, I'm a mom. I'm a mom of three. And so this feels like a deeply meaningful holiday for me. And it was really beautiful. I want to say, like, no complaints. It was just like a lot got stirred up, a lot happened. And so it ended up being, we'll start by saying, the most expensive weekend of my entire life. And hey, that's okay, especially because I've built a business that like made all of this be okay. So there's a tradition that one of my closest friends and I started last year. So this was our second annual Mother's Day spa experience. If you are local to San Diego, you may know of a little place called the Omni in La Costa. And if you don't know, let me tell you about it. This place is pure magic, like heaven on earth. And I've been to a lot of magical places. There's so many really beautiful memories. So the friend of mine who, like, we've done this tradition together now 2 years in a row, she got married at this beautiful place, and I had the privilege of being in her wedding. My family and I were able to spend some time here the week of the wedding, and we just have so many amazing memories of this place. If there was a 10-star resort hotel experience, this is what that is. And they're also known for specifically their spa, like their spa experience. Over the weekend, when I had posted just a couple of quick Instagram stories, I can't tell you the flood of messages where women who have been to the spa before were like, OMG, best spa ever. I'm so jealous. I wish I was there with you. Like this, it is next freaking level. And you pay a pretty penny for it. And it's also worth it. So I was so excited, really looking forward to this spa experience. Our spa services were set up for 10 a.m., which was very intentional, so smart, because once you have a spa service booked and complete, you can use the spa facility, which is insane. Like spa guests have their own pool, have their own cafe, have like multiple things they can use. I had never in my life been in a salt room. You know what that is? I'd heard of it. I've seen pictures of it online. I didn't know that they had one of those there. I got to meditate in a salt room for 30 minutes. They have a sauna and a steam room and whirlpools and all of it. All of it. Oh, it's amazing. And so we had our services at 10 a.m. I did a facial, and when I checking in, they were like, okay, you're all set up for your dermaplaning facial at 10 a.m. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, I that's not what I ordered. That's not my experience. And she was like, oh, it's not? Well, no problem. Like we can switch it to a regular one. It's really not an issue. And I was like, well, hold on. Tell me, what is dermaplaning? And she explained it. And it's like a really deep, intense, I say intense, it was not painful at all. I was scared it was going to be painful. It's like a form of like deep, deep, deep exfoliation. And I was like, oh, does it hurt? I have sensitive skin. I don't know if it's going to be a good idea. And the woman checking me in, she was stunning, beautiful skin. And she does the dermaplaning situation. And she was like, if I were you, I would do it. But like talk to your practitioner, like the woman giving you the facial, let her know your concerns. And if you want to switch it, you can. So I stick with the dermaplaning. Best decision of my life. I literally feel like a completely different woman. I cannot stop touching my skin. All of my products are so smooth on my skin. It's amazing. Okay. So we do our spa services. We save spots at the pool. I've got this like cute new hat that I bought just for the occasion. I got sunburned last year, which was terrible. I was not about to let that happen again. So I put on my hat, lather in some all-natural sunscreen, and we just had ourselves the absolute best time. Lounging, visiting, laughing, telling stories, captured a little bit of footage for the gram, had delicious food. It was great. So we were there for several hours, and I kept thinking to myself, this is it. Like, this is the life. I don't just want to do this once a year. I want to do this all the time. My business has been doing consistently, like really well for the last 6 or 7 years. And objectively, I can see my business has been doing well since day one. We are going on 12 years of me working inside of my business full time. And first of all, a lot of businesses don't make it past the first 2 years. If they make it past the first 2 years, most of them don't see the light of day after 5 years. And I think that those numbers are probably even higher in the coaching industry. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back there. So we're doing really good. However, we're not doing so well that I can afford to do this service every single month, which is the goal. I want to get to a place where I can have what would be like a $500 or $600 spa day once a month. What a treat that would be, like without even batting an eye. So that's what I kept thinking. I was like, this is a dream come true. I want this. Yes, please, more, please. Whatever I have to do to make this happen. It was like, I'm already a pretty motivated person, but that was extra motivation. So I take a shower, change out of my bathing suit, put on my dress, like good to go. I am like skipping to my car. I am high on life. They gave us each a rose for Mother's Day as we were like signing out the bill and paying the tab. I am so happy. I call my mom. I tell her, actually, so she had gifted me for my birthday. She knew I was going to go here. So she had gifted me a gift card to the spa. So I was able to apply that, which was just like really the cherry on top. So I called her and I thanked her and I was telling her all about the experience. And on the way home, something interesting happened, something that has never, ever, ever happened to me before, and I hope never happens to me again. So I'm just cruising right along, just thinking about how amazing this experience was, thinking about how it can't possibly get any better than this. Like, this is the life, and I'm going home, and I'm going to squeeze my babies, and we're going to have an amazing night. And as I'm driving along on the freeway, going 70 miles per hour, give or take, it all happens so fast. You know, when like you can see it, I keep replaying it in my mind in slow motion. The car in front of me is a couple cars ahead. I'm not like riding its tail. It's a pretty busy freeway. So there's cars in every lane, cars on either side of me. Again, 70 miles an hour, pretty quick. Freeway, normal. I'm a few car lengths away from the car in front of me, and I see this piece of metal. I don't think it came from a car. I don't know where for the life of me it came from. But the way I was describing it to my mom and to some friends and some clients earlier this morning was, hey, it was a rectangle in shape, but it was almost the size of a small television. I want to say like maybe an 18 or 20-inch sized TV, flat, but metal. Like you could tell it was heavy. So it comes up, the car in front of me drove over it without any issue. And then it kind of got a little bit of air, and I thought that it was going to come up and it was going to hit my windshield. And I could not swerve because there were cars on either side of me, and it would have created a collision. And luckily, so it catches some air, and then like right as I'm coming towards it, I can't do anything but like go through it. It lands on the ground again, which I think was the best scenario in this case versus it coming up and hitting the top of my car or hitting my windshield like I thought it was going to. That was the trajectory that it looked like for a split second. And so it goes right underneath my car and I hear it and it is loud. And all of a sudden, my car just kind of like slams to the ground. I can feel something happen to the back of my car and I don't know what. And I very quickly figure out from how it feels, but also like all of the red flashing lights on my dashboard that I don't know how many things were damaged, but my tire for sure, because it went from 100% pressure. Do we keep 100% pressure in our tires? Whatever the tire pressure was, went down to 0 in a fraction of a second. And I'm in the middle of the freeway. There's 4 or 5 lanes. So God is so good. The hand of the Holy Spirit. This is one of those things where I could have seen this in a lot of different ways, but I just kept thinking like, I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm going to figure this out. I was very scared. There was a little bit of panicky energy, but God is good. I'm going to figure this out. Like it could have been way worse. So I pull over to the far right of the freeway and I get out of my car and the tire is literally flat on the ground. And it's just, I was pretty sure I was driving on my rim at that point. Like my rim saved me. And I was also petrified about what other damage might have happened underneath my car. And now I want to pause here because I've been having this really insane anxiety recently while I'm driving. I'm like even nervous to say it out loud because I don't want to put it out there, but I'm going to set the intention that this was it and now we're done and now it's gone. But I've been having this like very weird anxiety around like being in my car, which is not normal at all. That's never happened before. And I feel like I've had dreams and visions of something happening while I was driving. And so it was just kind of settling into my body of, okay, this is it. This was the thing. Like this was the thing. And I don't want to believe I manifested this. Our mind is so powerful. And also like I couldn't turn off these visions and I was having a really hard time swatting away and shifting this anxiety. So again, if this was the worst of it, I'll take it. I will take it. And I got everything squared away really quickly. Again, I'm so freaking proud of myself. I have a AAA membership. I've had a AAA membership since I was 16. I've had it for over 20 years at this point. And I've really only needed to use my AAA membership a handful of times. I haven't had to use it in 4 or 5 years. So these are those moments where you're like, thank the heavens that I have this AAA membership. It's like $160 a year. And it's okay if you don't use it for a year or 2 or 3 or 4. But on that 5th year, when you have a blowout in the middle of a freeway on a Saturday, you're going to be so grateful for that service. So I call AAA the sweetest man. Oh my goodness. I don't wish that any of this happened to me. I'm trusting in God. You all know that I'm the self-proclaimed faith queen over here. So like whatever God was doing with this, thank you, God. And thank you for having your hand on me and having this all just be so smooth and seamless and safe as it possibly could be. So the AAA guy shows up and he is the sweetest, most angelic looking man. He was so nice to me and was like, we're going to get you taken care of. I'm so glad you're safe. Very much dad energy, which neither here nor there, but I don't have a relationship with my own dad. And I feel like even when you're 38 years old, like I am, I think these are moments when you would call your dad, right? Like something happens with your car and you're like, hey dad, this thing happened, help me. Or I just wanted to let you know. I don't have that. And so there was this sweet essence and sentiment of this guy being very father-like. And from the AAA guy putting my spare on and making sure I knew how to use it and literally getting down on not even on his hands and knees, but like laying flat parallel to the ground to look under my car at different angles to make sure that the metal didn't have anything leaking, that it was safe. He went above and beyond. He did more than his job. I believe he did more than his pay grade just because he wanted to, just because he was nice. So from that to then getting to a tire shop to get a brand new tire just a few minutes later, this was all done within like 40 minutes. Piece of metal, slash tire, pull to the side, AAA guy, driving up off that freeway exit, finding a really great tire company. All of this happened in 40 to 45 minutes. That is astounding. If you didn't believe in a God, I hope that you believe in a God now. So we're good to go. I get home, a little bit rattled, but feeling okay. And here's the other thing. Again, I'd been having these weird visions and dreams and feeling really anxious about my car, which is not very old. I've had it for just under 4 years. And I loved my car. For reference, it was a Hyundai Palisade, which is like, I don't know, it's a Hyundai. I'm not really a car person, but I don't know. Have you ever seen a Palisade? Have you ever driven a Palisade? They're really beautiful cars. They look and drive and even feel like high-end luxury vehicles. But again, I was shaken up. I still didn't know what damage had been done to the underneath of my car. And it just had me with this pit in my stomach we're at the point now of having the car for a certain length of time and having driven so many miles. And we drive a lot. We are a road trip family that a lot of the warranties and things like that are expired. And the car was needing more work and more money put into it. And simultaneously, my husband had been looking at other cars. So my husband has a truck and we love this truck. It's actually a very, very meaningful truck. It belonged to a very close friend of his, one of his best friends who had passed away. And so we've got this really lovely truck, but he's had it for over a decade. It's pretty old. It's not super reliable. It's not the safest truck to be driving at this point with our 3 little kids. So he is in need of a new truck. I don't necessarily need a new car, but I've been having this weird energetic feeling about my car. And then this thing happened on Saturday and we got the tire fixed, but something inside of me was telling me that there may have been more damage done to the car than I was aware of. And again, our warranties and extra things that would cover whatever the car needed, like we don't have any of those. And the car payment on my beloved car it was obnoxiously high for many reasons, one of which is, did you ever try to buy a car in COVID times? I don't know if you remember this because it wasn't that long ago, but there was a massive, massive car shortage. And so the MSRP on cars was a little higher. And then there were also added fees just to drive a car off the lot. And we were in a little bit of a pinch as we were growing our family and needed to have a different setup with the car. So we knew it, but we dramatically overpaid for our Palisade. Like we paid a lot more for it than what it was actually worth. And so this unnecessarily high car payment was just not making sense for us anymore when my husband needs a new car. So all of this just seemed really divinely timed. He was like, why don't you just drive down to the car dealership and check it out? So I did. So leave the spa, leave the heavenly experience, have this really ridiculously intense, insane, unexpected slashing of the tire. What the heck? And I go to one car dealership and was just not loving my experience. The guys who were helping me were rude. Oh my gosh. This is my decision. I'm the only one on my current car, my business. Like, and this is kind of what I want to get to. We'll round out the story here in a moment. But like, this is the inspiring piece, the piece that I take for granted. So my last 2 cars, now 3, because spoiler alert, I got a new car yesterday. My business has single-handedly paid for my last 3 cars. I have not needed a cosigner. My husband's name has not been on the cars. Like, the car belongs to me. And I'm not saying that in a greedy or selfish way. My husband drives it. It becomes our family car, right? Like my car is the one that we are all in the most. And so we factor that in when we're looking at this kind of a purchase. So I go in and the guy is first like, well, does your husband need to be here? What do you need to ask your husband about? And I was like, listen, this is my car. I'm paying for this car. If I am not sure about certain things, I might call my husband to get his opinion on things, to just feel out the vibe. But ultimately, this decision is mine. And at the end of some negotiation, there was a lot of pushiness, like the epitome of an icky car salesman was like, well, based on our stock and based on what you want and what your goals are and what your budget is, we're going to have to just get you in this car. And I was like, no, sir, I don't want that car. I'm not getting in that car. I will get in the car that I love and I will drive my happy butt back to my house. And as I was leaving, he was like, well, it sounds like you're going to have some really big conversations with your husband before you can come back here. And I said, okay, we're done here now. And I just got up and left. So the next day I went to a different car dealership on actual Mother's Day. I had a really nice morning with my family. And then the next couple of weeks are literal insanity. And so I looked at my husband and he was like, if you're going to go, like, you need to go now because we're not going to be able to do this later on. And again, my current car was due for some work in the next 2 weeks and it was going to cost a lot of money. And then I don't know what the added damage was from the incident that happened on Saturday on the freeway. So I was like, okay, let's go. My middle daughter wanted to come. She's my decision maker. I feel like I don't want to make any big decisions without her. I can make a big decision without my husband, but not without my daughter. So we go, and also I should say, my husband was doing a ton of the research. I woke up on Sunday morning on Mother's Day. I slept in a little bit, meaning I woke up at 7:30 in the morning instead of 6:30 in the morning. And he goes, babe, I found your car. Like, I'm pretty sure the car that I found online, and it's in stock right down the road it's the Kia dealership down the road. I drove a Kia Sorento back in the day before I had my Palisade, the car that I loved. And the Sorento was my favorite car ever. And then the Palisade was my favorite car ever. But I remember like crying when I was taking all the crap out of my Sorento to put it in my new car. Like, I did not want to let go of that car. And so I love Kia. I thought I was going to drive a Kia literally forever after that because I just loved it so much. Again, this sounds so funny because it's not like Mercedes or BMW or Lexus or Porsche. I don't know. I am just not a car person. I want to have a nice, comfortable car, but paying so much more money for a name brand, maybe I'm missing something, like, just doesn't do it for me. I'm like, hard no, I would rather not. And so he did. He found a couple. Actually, there was a handful. I was like, I could go with any of those. So I go down to the Kia dealership. Funny enough, it's owned by the Hyundai dealership that I was at the night before. And I was like talking crap about the manager and how he was kind of a jerk. I was like, can we file a report or something? Can we have that man spoken to by a higher up? Because that was not cool, the way that he was treating me. He was talking to me like I was a kindergartner, so condescending. And so anyway, I go in to the Kia dealership. I want to make it sound like I walked in and I walked out, but that's not the process of buying a car. But I now have a brand new 2025 Kia Sorento, and she's absolutely beautiful. I was set on white. I really loved having a white Palisade, but I also wanted, don't judge me. My mom was like, why? And my husband was like, why? And other people were like, why did you get light interior? I got light interior. There's just like something elevated to me. I'm saying I don't care about cars, but it was just like a vibe. I wanted the lighter, like the cream color leather interior. They didn't have the white with exterior with the light interior, but they had this really cool muted gray. Are you seeing these new sort of like army muted colored cars? I didn't like them at first. Now I'm obsessed with them. They look so nice to me. It's called Wolf Gray. Like wolf, like the animal. I'm into it. I was telling my kids we need to name my car, and they're like, what if we called it the wolf? Maybe it's the gray wolf. So it's this really beautiful gray exterior with the light leather interior. One of my non-negotiables is having a sunroof. So we don't just have a sunroof, but it's like a moon roof. So the entire top of the ceiling is basically glass. It's so cool. And then half of that opens up for the sunroof. Really cool sound system, cool tech, all the things. So your girl didn't know 48 hours ago that she was going to have a new car, and now she has a new car. I wanted to share that with you because someone on my Instagram stories messaged me and was like, did you actually get a new car? Because I'd posted like a fun little picture when they were setting up my tech. It sent me an email that said like, welcome to the Kia family. It should say welcome back. I love me some Kia. Someone replied to that little story post. I said, I bought myself a little Mother's Day treat. And they said, did you really buy a new car? I'm like, yeah, I did. Like, how did you do that? Like, what do you mean? How? I walked into a car dealership. I chose the car that I wanted and I walked out with it. That's how I did it. But so like kind of the big aha, the thing that I wanted to share with you is this was such a beautiful reminder of my why. And I feel like I have reminders of this often, but especially the last 3 times I've bought cars because they're big purchases. So it's very illuminating. And the same thing happened when we were buying this house, like the nicest, most expensive house we've ever bought. And I remember thinking that although my business does well, brings in 6 figures every year, I was nervous that my debt to income ratio, again, because these cars are all under my name and my husband doesn't have a car payment right now, that my debt to income ratio, like my financial portfolio, would actually hurt us. But every single time that is false, like it's proven to be false. When we were buying this really dreamy house, I'm looking out at my backyard, which looks like a Hawaiian paradise, and this giant office that I love that I get to work from every day, which I absolutely do take for granted sometimes. Just going through the motions, like doing what I need to do each day. I remember the lender, I was like, hey, if it's not a huge deal if I'm not on the loan initially, like I just want to do whatever is going to be best and the most financially savvy, and then I can be added onto the title later. And she looked at me and was like, Dani, you actually can't buy this house without your business. Like, I don't think you understand how big of a contribution your business is to the purchase of this home. And I was like, really? Really? Okay. And that's how I feel like last time I went to buy a car, my husband came in and he sat there. He was very supportive. Like he was there with me, but he didn't say a single word. He didn't need a cosign for anything. All of the banking that was set up to my business bank account. And so he just kind of sat there with me for several hours and would look over the numbers, and like I signed everything. And so it was really kind of cool and freeing. This time yesterday, he was like, okay, well, if you want to go get a car, go get a car. Like that seems like a kind of a big deal to me, but I am a big girl. And so me and Hannah Banana, we walked out of the house and I was like, I think we're going to get a new car today. And she was like, I want us to get a new car today. And being able to do all of these things completely on my own. Again, I want to bring it back to the why of my business. I feel like there are so many women, like the history of women. First of all, it wasn't that long ago when women couldn't even have their own bank account. I needed to look this up to be sure, but like the 1950s, that was like 70 years ago, maybe even less than that. Women were not allowed to have their own bank account. They were not allowed to, for sure, not have a credit card. They weren't allowed to make big purchases like on their own. And so being able to leave my house, go into a car dealership and come home with a brand new car as a result of my business and my hard work, it was just like the biggest aha moment. I feel like there are so many women who feel like they don't have the freedom that they desire. They stay in relationships and they stay in circumstances and they stay in roles and spaces and places that they don't actually want to be in because they feel like they have to. They feel like they have to depend on someone else, or they feel like they don't have enough money. And it was reminding me, I don't talk about this a ton, but when I was a little girl and then middle school, high school age, because of what I had encountered growing up, things that I had experienced and things that I had seen, I wanted to be a social worker. And I wanted to specifically work with women and children who were transitioning out of abusive relationships and were trying to start over. And a lot of women have a hard time doing that because lack of financial resources. Now, I feel very grateful that I'm in a 14, 15-year loving marriage, and that is not on my radar, but I have financial choice. I have financial freedom. There's something to be said for that, to being able to know that you can take care of yourself. You can stand strongly on your own 2 feet. It's about walking into any room, whether it's a car dealership or a doctor's office or a courtroom, whatever it might be, and knowing that you've got you. You can advocate for yourself. And all of this work, like I don't do what I do so that I can buy new cars. That's like a byproduct. That's really nice. I do what I do so that I can be an example of and also help other women create true freedom. And freedom comes down to choices. I never, ever want a woman to feel stuck in any place, circumstance, relationship. I want you to be able to get your needs met. I want you to be able to take care of yourself honestly, without really batting an eye. And again, I think there's moments where I forget how important and how powerful that is. And then there's moments like yesterday where it's like, wow, this is crazy. Grabbing the key to a gorgeous brand new car, signing all of this paperwork, getting a loan. My credit score yesterday to buy this car was 820. What's that? I didn't know that it went that high. And because of my credit score, he got me the best rates. He was like, banks can't even touch the interest rate that I'm going to give you because we can only offer this rate to people who have credit scores like yours, which we don't see very often. And all of it has come down to choices I've made. It's come down to vision. It's come down to belief. It's come down to commitment. It's come down to really trusting and having unwavering faith in what's possible and what I'm capable of, and the belief that everything is always happening in my favor, that not just on the side of the road with the slashed tire, but also in the car dealership, that the hand of the Holy Spirit is on me. And I believe that for you too. In closing, hope you enjoyed my Mother's Day weekend saga, but I just want to speak life into the fact that the journey of entrepreneurship has literally changed every aspect of my life. It has shifted who I am at the very core of my being. And it's also a lot bigger than me. This is not just about me. This is about you. This is about every single one of my clients. This is about every woman who is craving more for herself. Every woman who knows there's more possible, more safety, more choice, more options, more freedom, more abundance. And if that's you, I want you to know you don't need anyone's permission. You can do the scary things. You, with just even a little bit of belief in yourself, and if you don't have that, please borrow my belief in you. You can literally do anything you desire. And you can create. You can create whatever you want. As cliche as it sounds, you can literally become whoever you want. That feels like it's for somebody. I think sometimes I even need that reminder. This constant growth and expansion and evolution and being tapped into what's divinely true. And those are all, in my opinion, divine truths. So I love you. I see you. I honor you. If you're still here, listen to the end of this episode. I'm glad you did, because it took a while with the storytelling to get to the real good stuff. But this is all for you. This is all for us. I love you so much. And if this message resonated, if it stirred up something within you, do me a favor, take a little screenshot and share it on your socials. Let your people know. Maybe there was a quote or something that was illuminated for you, an aha moment. Share it with your people. I'm really loving knowing how this is landing for you. You're also welcome to just send me a private message. Tell me what hit home for you. I love receiving your messages every week. And I read and reply to every single one of them. It means the world. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time.